As we come out of the spring and head into summer, I want to take you to a passage, and as we move through this month, that hopefully will shape the way that we experience the summer, because the summer can get really busy. And as things get busy, we can lose our ability to be able to hear, or at least to hear well. And so I want to take us to this passage where God speaks to Elijah. And as he does, he reveals something about the way that he communicates, but then also the way that we need to listen, or maybe what we need to listen for. So listen to what it says in 1 Kings. It says, "Go out and stand before me on the mountain." And God and Elijah are in this kind of almost a fight. Elijah's upset about something, and God's actually pursuing him in grace and mercy. And he's actually come to speak to him. It says, the Lord told him, and Elijah stood there, and the Lord passed by, and a mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were torn loose, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire. There's all these different ways that we expect to see signs or see God move or hear from God, these big things. But it says, the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire there was the sound of a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance to the cave. And a voice said, because God was in the whisper, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And I think a lot of us, we interact with God and we want God to do big things and loud things, but consistently God said, no, that's not how I communicate. And if you're going to hear from me, we have to learn to listen. And there's a lot of different things that can drown out God's voice in our life. The busyness of life, the chaos of life, the worries of life. Sometimes we're so preoccupied with what we're worried about that we're not able to listen. We don't take the time to. We're not directing ourselves to the one who can actually speak to what we're worried about. Other times it's not what we're worried about. It's just what we allow ourselves to be consumed by. And so I just want to challenge us as we move this month. Come back to this passage over and over again and just ask, okay, am I listening? And is my life too noisy for me to be able, the voice that not only knows the future, but that can lead me into the future. The voice that not only knows how I was created, but can actually speak love into me, into my soul. Can speak purpose into my very being. Maybe be able to listen well as we move through this month.